So let me introduce Laura. We're very lucky to have Laura on our team. And Laura is a senior consultant that heads up our automotive and aerospace consulting and training group. Laura has worked for 19 years in the industry in manufacturing, quality engineering, assurance, and process improvement. Laura is a certified lead auditor. You can see the standards there. She's also a Six Sigma black belt. And she's really well educated. Recently finished her MBA at UMass Lowell. Before that at MS from Georgia Institute of Technology, and before that a bachelor's degree from RPI. So I want to thank Laura for taking the time to put the presentation together and speaking at the meeting. So come on up, Laura. Clicker.
Hello, hi everybody. I sat in the back while I was being introduced, so that's the face up here with the name. So you guys gave me a tall task to accomplish this afternoon. We usually do this in a 2 or 3 day class. So we'll see what we can get through and the time we have. What I wanted to do was to kind of we'll talk a little bit about why this new standard, so the alignment between the VDA, the FMEA, the AIAG approach, this new 7-step approach. I'll talk through what these steps are at a fairly high level. You're not going to walk away from this presentation necessarily ready to create an FMEA if you're totally new to it, but it gives you an idea of the new approach. The revised rating tables for all of the ratings, detection, occurrence, severity, have all been updated for design and process, as well as the new action priority table that we'll go over. And then I'll show you the key changes that will compare what it looked like in the old version, what it looks like in the new version, so we can kind of think about what you might need to do to change documents that you already have in the old version, or relate to that. And then a brief discussion on transition strategy, more specifically for automotive suppliers that will be required to meet this new standard. For those of you that aren't automotive suppliers, you can choose to work to this new standard, but unless your customers are specifically flowing it down to you, you don't necessarily have to do so. So this is an automotive industry document. Feel free to throw questions at me as we go. I don't like to make people hold their questions for the end, because then you stop listening to everything else I say just so you don't forget your question. And then by the time you ask the question, it might not be that relevant for you anymore. But if it's something I know I'm going to cover, I might say, just hang on for a minute, we'll get to that, all right? But if I don't see you, raising your hand or whatever, feel free to, get up and down, jump up and down the tables, whatever it takes.
How soon are we expected to comply with this new approach?
So we're going to cover that when we get to the transition strategy slide. And I don't remember off the top of my head, so let's wait till we get there, because I don't want to give you the wrong numbers. All right. So first, talking a little bit about why this new revision has come out. This is basically building on the AIAG 4th edition, the FMEA manual. The AIAG is the American Automotive Industry Group. And then the VDA version, which is the German Automotive Industry Group. And so they finally got together and said, let's make one new standard. So they came out with a new book, which is AIAG and VDA, and they reset us back to 1st edition just to confuse us. Right? So it's sort of 5th edition of AIAG, but we've gone back to 1st edition to show, and that's the reason why the cover has the split colors, to show the VDA and AIAG alignment. So why did they want to do that? There's a lot of companies that are supplying into both the American automotive industry and the European automotive industry, and they're being given different guidelines and directions on our FMEAs. We know that managing our FMEA programs are complicated enough. We don't need to have two different sets of guidelines. So they decided to come together and standardize, and they've hopefully taken the best practices from each side, and so it should result in a more robust process, right? Some of the big issues had to do with the rating tables between the two manuals. So something would be rated one way for a German customer, would be rated a different way for an American customer, and it just became, it's too difficult to manage. So now we have alignment on that. That was also causing confusion, complexity. We had companies with multiple, you know, they would be delivering basically the same product into these two different regions and have to have multiple documents. So this alignment was needed so that we have the same set of requirements across the board within the automotive industry. So going through this 7-step approach, what is this about? So this first graphic kind of gives you an overview.